Welcome to the Anaheim Convention Center Arena, where tonight the Anaheim Bolts are getting set to take on the two-time defending champions, the San Diego Sockers. The Bolts may be an expansion team, but they have played the Sockers 3 times already this season, and an explosive rivalry is already brewing.
Believe. To have the belief in something or someone.
We believe in our city.
We believe in you.
We believe in us.
We believe in destiny.
Destiny has brought us here.
Nosotros creemos.
Mi verujemo.
We believe.
Do you?
Hi, I'm Holly Hanula, and it looks like it's going to be another beautiful day.
Since when do I bring you women?
Year and a half I've been trying to hail this guy.
I see what you're doing.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
We're on the verge of kickoff here at KDOC. The San Diego Sockers coming into the match 11-0 against the 3-6 Bolts, but 11-0 for the Sockers doesn't even begin to explain their streak, does it, Jeff?
No, not at all, Mark. They are 25 games unbeaten in a row. Their last loss, December of 2010. That's over 2 years ago, and it was to the Stockton Cougars. It's the last team that took them down.
The Stockton Cougars, of course, Bernie Lillival's old club, won the premier professional arena soccer league title in 2009, but Lillival would love to end San Diego's streak here tonight. Bolts looking for their first win after a 4-game losing skid. And right now it's one of the new players, Juan Gonzalez, playing the ball in the back. Paul Wright, poor giveaway in midfield, but he wins it back. The evergreen 42-year-old former soccer player gets it up to Adriana De Lima. De Lima over to Wright, good ball in the corner looking for Gonzalez. Gonzalez almost opened up his professional account in real style, but San Diego able to clear it out of the corner. Oh, that's a good tackle by Gonzalez again. Has had a good start to his career in a Bolts jersey. Signed just yesterday for the Bolts. His twin brother Felipe Gonzalez will be wearing number 11, but right now it's De Lima. Bolts have done all the attacking since that early chance for the San Diego Sockers. And De Lima this time will be whistled for a foul, and that's something to keep an eye on, Jeff, because 6 fouls in this game, you get a blue card, which means a 2-minute penalty.
Yeah, you have to be aware of the situation at all times, regardless of if you're forward, if you're a defender, it doesn't matter. You have to be aware. If you're sitting on 5, it kind of changes the way you have to defend.
And you can't have any ticky-tacky fouls either. Any handball or anything, you're going in the box. Right now, Antonio Sutton gets the ball back to Chris Toth, making just his 3rd appearance in goal for the Sockers this season. A 22-year-old comes out and creates an angle for his defender. And the Sockers usually like to play the ball long into the corner to get things going, but they're looking like the Bolts here in the way they're possessing it down the middle. Taken away by Oswaldo Gonzalez and sent into the corner for Tommy Solic. Tries to play it off the boards, but Toth read the angle well. So Toth once again comes over that line so he can send the ball in the offensive end without getting a 3-line pass called on him. Leaves it off for Eduardo Velez, and Childs left all alone in the corner, and his shot goes wide. Good job by Belita to come out and get that deflection, but because that ball was cleared out from behind that yellow line, it's going to be a delay of game, which means that ball is going to come all the way to the top of the arc.
The Bolts cannot leave the league's leading goal scorer all alone right in front of the net. It doesn't matter if he's on the right side or the left side. Childs sitting on 35 goals for the year. He's quickly closing in on 40, which is the league record, and he could set that sometime soon.
And here's a very dangerous situation for the Anaheim Bolts defending the set piece. Chiqui Luna, a dead ball specialist over it. Miguel Arturado can also hit him. But this time the wall does its job, and Enrique Tovar comes flying out. Felipe Gonzalez tried to help him on, and then Brian Farber was almost all alone for that chance. Paul Wright gets it forward. This is Rafael Gaitan, 13 goals in his first 6 games with the Bolts. And Tovar, usually forward, operating in the back, gets it off to Miguel Sanchez. 23-year-old down the boards for Paul Wright. Wright working on Antonio Sutton, gives it off Sanchez. Not a bad idea trying to get in the center. Oh, and what a goal that would have been. Somehow the score remains 0-0 3 minutes in, but the Bolts have been knocking on the doorstep.
Doesn't get much closer than the crossbar. Would have been an acrobatic finish there. It's unlucky that the Bolts, but they're sitting in a prime chance right now.
You see, San Diego's defense was all at sea, so they had to clear the ball out in their own defensive end. It's another delay of game. We talked about Cheeky Luna and Arturado at one end. You have to watch out for Paul Wright and Enrique Tovar here. And Wright, in fact, plays it to the other side, and it sneaks in. And it's Hugo Casillas with his 13th goal of the season. And the Streamers come down here behind Jesus Molina. It's 1-0 Bolts over the Sockers.
It's so important to start the game the way you want to play the rest of the night. Getting out to an early lead is so key. Even if the game is high scoring, it doesn't matter. You're setting the tone from the beginning, and that is exactly what the Bolts have done so far in the first 3 minutes.
And this is very different to the start the Bolts had 3 weeks ago in Del Mar. Gave up 7 goals in quick succession. We're trailing 9-1 going into the third quarter. Can't let that happen here, but they draw first blood.
The next few minutes are very important. The Bolts have started fast. They've played well for the first 3 minutes, and they're on top. Now the question is, can they maintain that momentum, and can they build on that momentum? Can they turn this into a few-goal lead where they can settle into a comfortable rhythm for this game?
And speaking of momentum, the Streamers are a nice touch from the Bolts fans, but does that kill the Bolts' momentum going forward, because now there's a little break in play while they clear that off the field?
You know, it works both ways. For one, you can take a deep breath and kind of collect yourself. They say in an outdoor game that the next 5 minutes after you give up a goal are the most important. Well, here the time is condensed a lot, so you have time to kind of organize yourself and not be too thrilled about the goal you just scored. On the opposite end, it gives your opposition a chance to kind of formulate a plan and get after it. But I think it works kind of both ways, and it's not really a positive or a negative.
Well, it doesn't happen after every goal. Only the first goal here at the Anaheim Convention Center Arena as Solic wins the ball in midfield. Tried to run right at the heart of the defense, but it's taken away by Zé Roberto. And San Diego going to go all the way back with it to Toth. 22-year-old being pressured by Adriano de Lima. And San Diego now working down that far side. Into the middle comes Scotty Martin. That's a good ball across, and it's the equalizer. Diego Rivera at the back post gets his head on it, and that has been one of the Bolts' Achilles' heel, defending that run to the back post. All season they've gotten beaten there.
You said it earlier when we were talking off camera. They need to shore up that backside defensive responsibility, and it comes back to bite them almost twofold right now. One, yeah, you gave up a goal, but we literally 30 seconds ago just had this momentum talk, and suddenly you're sitting on a lead. Not anymore. We're going to have to see how they respond to that early blow by the Sockers.
It's 1-1, 11 minutes and 38 seconds left in the first quarter as Paul Wright gets things back underway. Felipe Gonzalez trying to push it for Miguel Sanchez, and going to be tough for us here in the booth tonight, Jeff, because 3 players with the last name Gonzalez signed yesterday for the Anaheim Bolts, and all of them actually work up in San Jose for Enrique Tovar's club, Top Notch Soccer.
We'll just say Gonzalez to Gonzalez to Gonzalez.
I was trying to work out the percentages earlier, but if there's 14 players, we have a pretty good shot of getting it right as long as we just say Gonzalez.
At least once, right?
Well, for now, it's Juan Gonzalez getting the ball off to his identical twin brother, Felipe. And trying to work it down the field as Felipe Gonzalez gets it off to Gaitan. Gaitan stripped by Eduardo Velez, the 2 Mexicans going after it. And almost a fortuitous deflection for Antonio Sutton, but the Bolts are able to deal with it. Another clearance out of bounds. This time will just be a kick and taken by Eric Wonderly. You can see Wonderly getting to the bench. San Diego holding the ball so that they can make those changes without getting caught on a counter. Juan Gonzalez working in the corner. Craig Childs hassling him. Gonzalez able to get it out, but only as far as Scotty Martin, and almost another deflected goal with the head. Paul Wright to bring it back the other way. End-to-end action here in Anaheim, but Paul Wright is stripped. Scotty Martin, in his 3rd season with the Sockers, once again gets the ball back to Toth. And there's that long ball trying to bypass the midfield, but this time it's a 3-line pass against Toth.
And you could see he was frustrated with himself after that, immediately threw his head skyward. He wanted to take a little bit off of that ball and place it just inside the yellow line. Didn't exactly work for him that time.
Well, the difference between delay of game, which is when anybody clears the ball out, and a 3-line pass is that instead of the free kick coming to the top of the arc, it's going to come to the middle of that yellow line, the 50-foot line. And Gonzalez is over it. Almost something direct from that free kick. Juan Gonzalez looking good money to score on his professional debut.
It's 2 posts already, and we're 5 minutes in.
Ball taken down by Scotty Martin. 29-year-old seeing a lot of time early as Osvaldo Gonzalez heads it back to Jesus Molina. Molina, good distribution in the center, but Gaetan loses out. And good job by the Bolts to get back and swarm the ball on defense. Gaetan pushes it into the corner for DeLima. Oh, and DeLima went to the ground hard. And the referee standing right next to DeLima didn't call the foul, but the referee in the near corner did.
It's all about the angle you're looking at. It's interesting to see who can see what.
Well, you hear a lot of boos. San Diego bust a lot of fans up for this game, and they're all sitting down in that far corner. So they don't agree with the call. Paul Wright almost stuck it in that near corner. And another good opportunity, but DeLima wasn't able to get his foot on it. It's San Diego looking to work out of their defensive end. Long ball looking over the top for Craig Childs. Played just over. That's San Diego's game, though. That's what they'd like to get going. Just hasn't worked on the last 2 occasions for them.
And you like to see that they're trying to play the backdoor ball, and it's defended that time. Maybe the Bullets have learned from their mistakes.
Oh, a dangerous clearance here, but a very smart header by Scotty Martin to get back to his keeper. And a good outlet, and the break is on. And Childs once again misses. This is Rivera looking for his second. Good save by Molina to push it on the crossbar. And the rebound not taken by San Diego. It remains 1-1 with just under 9 minutes to play in this first quarter.
It's difficult when you're giving up 2, 3, 4 opportunities every possession as a team.
And as a defender in indoor soccer, you have to help out your goalkeeper. Goalkeepers aren't going to be able to catch the ball as much because the shots are coming from so close in at such a fierce pace.
And he did such a good job to make the initial save. You have to hope that you clear the rebounds away from danger almost immediately.
Farber dispossesses Solich. The fastest man in the PASL tries to pick out the far corner. And this time a good job by Sanchez to deal with the rebound. Sutton comes up. He toe pokes it over and out on the near side, so it'll be a kick-in for the Anaheim Bolts.
It's interesting to see how high the Sockers are pressing when the Bolts get the ball. A lot of the possession for the Bolts is happening in their defensive third of the field.
And that's what happens when you win the ball high up the field. But this time Childs not camped out far enough up on that back post. And it's going to go out of bounds and be another free kick for the Bolts. Enrique Tovar will stand over it. And Tovar, 15 goals, the Bolts' leading scorer, but the last few games he's played more of a defender. Kind of an interesting tactic employed here by Bernie Lillival.
We'll see if it pays off. We're still sitting at 1-1, so far so good.
Well, Tovar wanted to see us to check it a bit quicker. Instead, he has to get it off to Molina. And the Bolts working themselves into some trouble, but a good ball to get out of it by Solich. And this is DeLima. DeLima cuts inside. No foul given this time. That's a good clearance by Antonio Sutton, member of the U.S. Arena national team. Sutton. Solich. DeLima on a chance on here for Gonzalez. Couldn't keep his effort down. Solich is in. Good header. DeLima with the try. Oh, the pressure coming fast and furious, but San Diego able to handle it. And a poor giveaway in the back. A chance for DeLima. Good challenge by Sutton, but he slid. And out comes the blue card. The Bolts will go on the power play.
What saves from the goalkeeper for San Diego. Chris Toth, 2 reaction saves where he came out, challenged the shooter, and took away almost every angle that he had. That's very, very good goalkeeping for the arena game.
I couldn't say it any better because you saw DeLima did so well to get a foot to it. Even if he got, better contact on it, he would have had nowhere to go.
When DeLima is so fast and he's so good with the ball on his feet working in tight situations, he frees himself up and he creates chances for himself that a lot of other players wouldn't get. It was a very smart play by Toth to come out immediately when he recognized the situation and not give DeLima anything to shoot at.
Oh, we have a timeout here on the field. It's 1-1 between the Bolts and the Sockers. The Bolts struck first through Hugo Casillas, but then the Sockers came right back. Diego Rivera heading in the equalizer. And it's been a pretty fast-paced end-to-end action game, not bogged down at all in midfield, Jeff.
It's been fast-paced, and honestly, it's been good from both sides. Both sides have had their chances. We could easily be looking at a 3-2 game right now. Good goalkeeping and maybe a fortuitous bounce one way or the other. The Bolts have hit 2 posts, and we could be looking at a few more goals. But I think well played so far. The Bolts have established themselves early as not backing down, and we'll see where it goes from here. It looks pretty positive.
And what about the Gonzaleses? All of them have pretty much had a good debut so far. They won many titles together with the MACSA family futsal team up in San Jose, but they look very comfortable here in the indoor game.
I mean, 2 posts right away in the first 5 minutes. Maybe we could capitalize on this type of situation here. A dead ball off the restart, and we'll be talking a lot better about the Gonzalez brothers.
Oh, Paul Wright standing over this free kick. He's going to go for goal directory, and he puts it in. The wall was not well placed. Wright took full advantage, and the Bolts have retaken the lead. 7 minutes and 41 seconds left. It's now 2-1 in favor of the home side.
How good is that? Coming out of a timeout where you can set something up, the Bolts capitalize on the dead ball situation. That's a testament to drawing something up while you're sitting in the huddle and executing to perfection. What a shot by Paul Wright.
My guess is that Bernie Lilival during that timeout drew up a whole play, and Wright went up there, saw the wall, and said, nah, I'm just going to shoot.
Whatever works.
Yeah, Lilival won't mind. Scotty Martin gets the ball off to Anthony Medina, one of the many Sockers on this team that also represents the U.S. Arena national team. Tovar, oh, that's not the best ball back, putting Molina in an awkward situation, but he deals with it. The Bolts looking to go the other way. Good ball off the boards for Gaitan. Gaitan joining the Bolts from Mexico's outdoor second division, Durango. And here's Gaitan, he has a 2-on-1. Felipe Gonzalez in the corner. Couldn't pick out the near post. And Farber looking to start the counter, but the Bolts doing well to get all 5 men back behind the ball. Medina. Farber. Farber trying to overlap Rovera, but a bit too heavy on the touch. The ball's going to come all the way around the boards to Molina. And now it's the Bolts looking to bypass the midfield. Solich, good idea trying to play to cross goal, but couldn't get his header down. And once again, Tovar under pressure from Childs. Gonzalez. Solich. Smart by the Serbian to keep the ball for the Bolts. Ooh, and a nice turn as well. And Solich gonna get called for a hold there, a definite hold. And now the blue card, well, a yellow card. And Solich, that's a card not for the foul, but for the reaction. Absolutely no reason for Solich to do that.
And you can see it from up here. He had a handful of the jersey and probably even the shorts as well. You have to keep yourself under control in those situations and not cost your team a situation where you're on the back foot, especially after going up 2-1. It's the second time we've seen the Bolts put themselves in a situation where they're having to defend immediately after scoring a goal.
And not only did Solich get that blue card, which means he's going to have to sit for 2 minutes, but also a yellow card, which means he's going to have to stay in the box for 5 minutes. And so after 2 minutes, the Bolts will be back to full strength, but Solich is going to have to stay in the box. And in fact, I believe that because Solich got that yellow card, somebody else is going to have to come over and serve that 2-minute penalty for the Bolts.
So it's a double whammy. You have to keep your head in those situations. Where early on in this match, there's a long, long time left to play.
Joe Aleman's going to come over and serve this penalty for the Anaheim Bolts. Solich will sit in the box as well. Aleman has to be tired, even though he hasn't seen action in this game. He played for the reserves right before this in what was a 5-5 draw between the Bolts reserves and the Sockers reserves.
Yeah, so maybe he's the perfect guy on the roster to come serve this penalty. Maybe he doesn't have the freshest legs as everybody else does.
And he's in the stat book now, so.
A little feather in the cap.
Aleman making his 6th appearance this season for the Anaheim Bolts, 24-year-old out of Brea, California. Serving part of what is Solich's mess. Actually, they gave a double penalty to Solich, so he's going to sit in the box for 7 minutes. 4 minutes of penalty kill for the Anaheim Bolts. Eddie Velez. Velez led the league last year in scoring, playing for Revolucion Tijuana, a team he actually owns and operates, with 52 points. So Velez gets it over to Wonderly. Wonderly had a hat trick the last time these two teams met. Thought about trying to open up his account here, but instead plays catch. Oh, and it sneaks through, and that's a soft goal to concede by the Bolts. I thought that was a poor ball by Wonderly to the corner. Should have been defended, and it wasn't. And you see the result, 2-2 with 5.5 minutes to go in this first quarter.
We talked about defensive responsibility, and that's one that the Bolts are going to want back. In a situation where the other team gifts you a chance to clear on the penalty kill, you have to take advantage. It comes back to bite them.
Well, the Bolts will have another minute and 25 seconds to kill on the second penalty. The Bolts have now given up 8 goals on 33 penalties. Oh, my apologies. Bolts are actually back to full strength, but they have 2 minutes up on the board for Solich, Jeff, so that's why I got confused. So I thought it was a double penalty, and I think the refs are talking about that too. So the referee's trying to figure this one out, whether the Bolts are going to have another penalty kill. And in fact, Solich, if he did have a yellow card and a blue card, that should have been running too, so that's something the refs have to sort out. It looks to me that the Bolts are back to full strength.
Second time in this first quarter that we're going to have to see how they respond after giving up a goal. How do they come back?
The next goal the Bolts give up will be the 100th goal they've given up this season. Second to last in terms of conceding goals in the league. Only Turlock has given up more. And Turlock, of course, the team the Bolts are chasing for that third and final playoff spot. But for now, both teams back to full strength. And Tovar with an authoritative clearance. And Tovar will get a kick in for the Bolts. Molina over that yellow line, looks to play it into the corner. Aleman's there. Who did it go off of last? It went off of San Diego in the referee's point of view, much to the chagrin of those few sections over in the corner.
It's an opportunity, a dead ball opportunity for Anaheim.
Casillas. That shot was quickly closed down, but the Bolts will get a second bite of the cherry.
I'm not sure that's exactly the shot you want. A left-footed shot having to come across his body into the teeth of the defense there.
Well, this time the skip pass to Tovar. Tovar did well to sort his feet out. Casillas trying to get in the corner. Tovar gets there first. Tovar, smart reaction header, and the Bolts retake the lead.
What reactions from the striker turned defender. You see the striker that he has in his body quickly reacts to that ball being deflected. A nice, simple, cheeky little header into the back of the net.
Well, Tovar went over to kiss his family. He's given the Bolts the 3-2 lead with 5 minutes and 2 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Anthony Medina standing over the ball for the San Diego Sockers. What a storyline it would be if the Bolts could break the Sockers' 25-game winning streak. On a good shot right away, but Medina got down well. Molina, rather. Sutton screaming for the ball on the near side. Well, that's a good move and not a bad idea, but the shot well high and wide in the end.
Very explosive move to create space, puts the ball on his chosen right foot. Shot just got to be on frame. Even if it doesn't go in, you might have a second chance opportunity.
And once again, it's that high pressure from San Diego causing problems for Jesus Molina. And it's going to be delay of game. Good job by the Sockers. And it pays off as they'll get the ball right at the top of the arc.
The Bolts are going to have to make sure that they don't give up another soft one by giving the ball away in their own defensive third of the field.
And at times like that, I know you want to possess the ball, but you should just clear it, especially when you're under that kind of pressure, and then you can regroup.
Clearing with a purpose, outletting to an area where your team has an opportunity to get the ball.
San Diego, Childs over the ball, or Childs on the left rather. Arturado runs over it, tried to lead it off for Cheeky Luna, but Paul Wright deals with it, and De Lima has some space, takes himself into the corner, and Arturado able to get back. Lima won it again, but rolled it right into the hands of Toth. And the outlet for Farber. That one stays on the right side of the yellow line. And Paul Wright did just enough to put off Farber. Gonzalez of the Osvaldo variety. Oh, good ball for Gaitan, just couldn't direct his header. Ooh, and Velez and Gaitan going at it. Oh, and that's very late from Gaitan. And rightly so, he will go to the box for 2 minutes. And I know these teams don't like each other, Jeff, but that was silly.
It's the second time already in this first quarter where the Bolts have lost their cool, being up a goal, and have put themselves in a position where they're going to have to dig themselves out of a hole. You have to keep your head. It's as simple as that. There's really no way around it.
And keep in mind, the last game ended with a fight, very close to the final whistle in the fourth quarter, leading to plenty of red cards and suspensions, especially on the Bolts side. So the Bolts really need to keep their head here, not let San Diego get under their skin. At the same time, San Diego needs to do the same. It goes both ways. They can't get into that kind of battle with the Bolts.
Absolutely, and it's obvious that, I don't want to say bad blood, but the hostility, the tension has spilled over into this game, which it makes for entertaining television. It makes for an entertaining game. It's fun to watch these two teams go at it.
Wonderly. Eddie Velez. Wonderly again. Tovar in good position to make the block. Toth to restart the power play. Velez will orchestrate. And Velez, ill-advised shot, good block by Gonzalez. And Gonzalez trying to figure out whether or not he should chase it. Realizes better to just stay back, conserve energy. As Wonderly and Velez to push the envelope once again. Played a bit behind Wonderly, did well to react to it. Gonzalez tried to take it away. Cheeky Luna, power play specialist in the corner. Up top to Velez. Wonderly. Wonderly cutting inside, gets it on that favored left foot, he misses. And then the shot by Velez well wide, but the long rebound falls kindly for him. Oh, Paul Wright standing tall. Almost had a chance to counter on the shorthanded opportunity. He gives up the ball, and then very lucky that that's not a blue card on the Bolts as well.
Bolts penalty kill looks especially good this first minute of this power play. A lot of very good, sound gap responsibility, a lot of block shots so far.
Wonderly. Velez. Little touch on for Childs. Velez once again. Oh, trying to sneak that ball in the back post, but Molina read it. And the outlet ball just trying to clear some time off the clock. And once again, Juan Gonzalez getting a bit too high up the field. Adriana de Lima's going to come on for him. Long shot from Velez off the post. Another opportunity, and this time it's Osvaldo Gonzalez to make the block.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Have one save, have one chance, and then the second chance is blocked and allows you to regroup.
Velez. Childs. Ooh. Not far off was the reigning MVP. Velez once again looks like he wants to tee it up. Molina was comprehensively beaten, but the inside of the post saves him on that occasion. Farber. What can the Idaho native conjure up here? Not a bad ball to the back post as Rafael Gaitan is out of the box and the Bolts are back to full strength. 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. The Bolts holding on to a 3-2 lead. And Velez holding on to the ball so that the Sockers can get fresh personnel onto the field.
It's a very, very good penalty kill from the Bolts. It's a nice little statement after losing their heads a little bit.
Wonderly gets it back to Scotty Martin. Martin plays it to the far side. Childs. Martin. This is Childs now, working his way back toward the center. Good job by de Lima to come back and help his defense. 2-on-3 going the other way. Oh, and you can see the idea spinning in de Lima's head, wanting to flick it on for Gaitan there. Just didn't get it to work.
It's a tough ball with the outside of your foot, trying to place it over the defender. Really, really nice idea, though.
Oh, Farmer puts it across for Libero. And Molina had to reach highest. Did well to climb that ladder and get there before Farber. Tovar now in the back once again. 45 seconds left in the first period. Over the head of de Lima. Toth with a good outlet ball to Farber. He's in one-on-one. And this time it's Molina coming himself, making himself as big as possible and taking the angle away. Tovar with another block and finally cleared. Delay of game will come back to the top of the arc.
It was well done by Molina. Echoing his counterpart on the other side of the field. Come out, make yourself as big as possible, break down the angle. The Bolts still have to do a little bit better a job of controlling rebounds and limiting second, third, fourth opportunities, though.
Fans, don't miss your chance to get season ticket seats. Be a part of history and experience Bolt Soccer. Visit Bolt Soccer for more information. Cheeky Luna standing over his usual position on top of that dead ball. He's going to call a timeout. So now it's Phil Savaggio's turn to try and draw up the perfect play before his players just disregard it and go straight for goal, just like Paul Wright did at the other end.
I don't know about that strategy, if you will, but an approach to the ball as though you're going to kick it and have a shot, and then at the last minute, quick little timeout signal. I don't know what the coach has drawn up, if that was the way they wanted it. Maybe Luna saw something on the field that he didn't like, and the situation wasn't right.
We can see that the team's not going over to their benches. The Bolts are just talking amongst themselves, the players on the field. Now Lilleval's coming out to talk to his team, and Phil Salvaggio came all the way out to talk to the 5 on the field for San Diego. So interesting. Usually it's a whole team affair, but this, with 30.1 seconds left, each team of the players on the field want to make sure that they navigate this last part of the first quarter correctly.
Especially for the Bolts, if you can get out of the first quarter 3-2, even 4-2 up, that's a huge mental boost of confidence. So you want to make sure you're sound right now on the defensive side of the ball.
Once again, it's Childs who goes straight for goal. No need for a timeout. Childs ties it up at 3.
The second time straight out of a timeout, we've seen shots go directly in off dead ball situations. That's goal number 36 on the year for Childs. He's 4 away from the PASL record.
And Childs also just struck his 97th goal, 3 more, and he gets 100 for his career. Speaking of 100s, the Bolts just gave up their 100th goal this season. 28 seconds left. Can the Bolts get one more before the first quarter intermission? Oh, and slamming into the boards hard was Gonzalez. And the whistle's going to blow. Antonio Sutton and Chris Toth coming over to make sure he's okay. But he grabbed for his ankle right away.
He looked like he rolled over his ankle, crashing into those boards, and he came up lame right away.
This is a very unforgiving turf. Well, the good news is Mr. Gonzalez, according to our PA announcer, is okay.
That name goes 3 ways now.
It's Gonzalez of the Felipe variety. Well, Gonzalez hobbled over on the bench, though, but he did go off under his own power. Kicking for the Sockers on the far side. Long ball played in, looking for Miguel Arturado. Bounces off the boards, right to Molina. Tovar. Juan Gonzalez. Solich. 8 seconds left. Solich plays it in the corner for DeLima. He's going to have to get out of there quickly. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Oh, DeLima almost scored right at the end of the quarter, but he can't get his effort on frame. And so it ends 3-3 between the Bolts and the Sockers. We're going to take a quick break here. The first quarter intermission. We'll be back for all the second quarter action right after this. You are watching Bolts Soccer on KDOC Sports.
5 days a week, we've got Jerry.
But I don't want to be a pirate.
George.
I'm the opposite of every guy you've ever met.
Elaine. Kramer.
I'm out there, Jerry, and I'm loving every minute.
And all the classic moments.
No soup of you. You're an anti-dentite. I was in the pool.
Weeknights at 6 and 6:30 on KDOC Los Angeles.
Cash Cab.
Whoa, a year and a half I've been trying to hail this cab.
I'm in the cash cab.
You might not know all the answers.
Crayola introduced a shade of orange named after what kid-friendly pasta dish?
SpaghettiOs.
Oh no, it's macaroni and cheese.
But there's no question.
It's a fun car, but an evil car.
This ride rules.
You just won $2,400. You're the biggest winners ever. You just won $4,100.
Cash Cab.
Weekdays at 4 and 4:30 on KDOC Los Angeles.
The Anaheim Bolts will have kickoff to start the second quarter. 3-3 with the San Diego Sockers. And Jeff, a very good first period for both sides.
Can the Bolts maintain this tempo and this level of play? They've matched the Sockers tit for tat every time, and they've even taken the lead 2 or 3 times in this game. Can they maintain that pace?
You've got to stay on your own half before the ball's kicked. Now they get it right, second time around. Solic gets it to Sanchez. De Lima, 30-year-old Brazilian, brought down, and he'll get the benefit of the doubt. Both players going to ground there. So Solic out of Vanguard University will stand over the ball. 6 goals on the season for the 24-year-old. Over to Sanchez. Sanchez wanted to go for goal, but not like that. In indoor soccer, you've got to put your effort at least on the glass because you'll have this chance for a rebound opportunity.
His first touch let him down a little bit. If your first touch is in front of you and can set up your shot immediately, the angles close down so fast in this game that you have to be always thinking 1, 2, 3 steps ahead.
Childs, 3 goals away from 100. Toth under pressure. De Lima almost got there. And space opening up for Velez on the far side. He shoots. Molina got a fist to it. And Sanchez was in the right position to make the block. Velez. Little touch inside for Childs. Good defending by Osby Gonzalez. Oh, and De Lima's on if they can get it to him. Rafael Gaitan calling for a handball, but it's just going to be a kick-in for the Bolts. 46 seconds into the second quarter. Both teams tied at 3. Molina. Tried to play the ball in the corner, but nobody was making that run. And now Childs in a one-on-one with Sanchez. Good ball to the far side. Molina punches that one away calmly. Oh, and Solic fell over himself. Sutton. Well, Solic is such a live wire. You see him get back and get all the way to the other side of the field to apply pressure to Sutton. And it leads to the giveaway. Sanchez almost stripped, does a good job to maintain possession. And look at how the Sockers get 3 men around that ball to win it back through Childs in midfield.
And that's almost everywhere on the field. Doesn't matter in the attacking, defensive, or middle third. There's usually a lot of white shirts around the ball.
Gaitan comes over. Medina muscles his way past him, but not around Felipe Gonzalez. And that ball too easily telegraphed. Velez. Rovera on the far side, cuts in. On Sutton. Not the best shake off that rebound, but you can see the idea from Sutton, just didn't pick out that far corner.
And what a good line change there from the Sockers. Right off, Rovera right off the bench, immediately making a run, finding space, and finding a shot. And that at least goes off the wall.
All right, are we going to have a pass back here? And it's going to be a pass back on the Bolts. Absolutely no pressure. Tovar passes it back to Molina, and he picks it up. And Gonzalez spares the Bolts their blushes.
That's slightly inexplainable. How does that happen off of a restart where there's no pressure anywhere?
Well, it's just a lapse in concentration from Molina to pick up that ball. Toth. Zé Roberto. Oh, Roberto, good ball in the corner. And Childs almost angled his header perfectly, but off the post once again. Hugo Casillas. Tovar. Molina. Lifts it up looking for Aleman. Well, that goes over 3 lines. Going to come back to the top of the arc. Or excuse me, the top of the yellow line.
It's an unnecessary giveaway, though, from the Bolts. You have to maintain possession and keep this game being played at the tempo you want to play it while you have possession of the ball.
And against the San Diego Sockers, that's probably the one team you can't afford to make mental errors against. We'll see if Cheeky Luna can punish him here. And Luna's going to call a timeout.
It's an interesting strategy we've seen twice now, and I think the reason is San Diego lines up to take their free kick and then tries to read the defense and find out exactly how the Bolts are going to line up. And so now the Bolts have shown their hand, and San Diego will design a play around what they've seen to try and exploit any weaknesses.
Well, we saw what they did after the last time out, curling that ball around the wall and in. So see if they are the team to open up the scoring here in the second quarter. Fans, just a reminder to check out the Anaheim Bolts on social media. We have a Facebook page and Twitter at Anaheim Bolts, and our director of social media, Justin Windsor, does an excellent job constantly updating both those pages. So become a fan of us And continue to check out boltsoccer.com for all your Bolts information. Now Cheeky Luna off to Arturado. Arturado can shoot from distance, but this time he plays it across. Now San Diego just possessing the ball as Wonderly and Farber get off the field. Toth once again. Medina. Oh, nice touch from Toth to escape the pressure of Aleman. Played forward for Scotty Martin. Oh, and Martin's in. It's going to work out here for Arturado. Well, he tried to place that to the far post. And a good read from Tovar to get back and head that one off the line.
I'm not sure if the referees did miss a handball there on San Diego. It was a advantageous bounce for the white shirts and really, really good defending on the backside.
Well, Arturado has such a strong shot, and I know he saw that corner, but from that close, you think he might just blast it. Soccer's maintain possession off the kick-in, and they'll go all the way back to Toth as they reload new players. This is the Hawaiian Arturado. Off to Childs. Childs plays it to himself, gonna play it off the boards, looking for Sutton in the center. Childs. Sutton gets beaten to it by Casillas. Can De Lima find Casillas? No, he can't, and now the Sockers will go the other way. Velez looking for options. Good ball into Childs. He had time to turn that one and slot it past Molina, but instead he went for the cheeky little flick, and it doesn't work out for him.
Even though that one didn't work, how many times has Childs got himself into a position where he's a threat to score over and over? You see why he's the league's leading scorer, consistently giving the Sockers options up top.
Well, Molina has seen Childs a bit too far up close too many times. And Sutton wins it back from Gaitan. This is Velez once again. Anthony Medina can't fight his way through. Oh, and a good idea seeing the keeper off his line. But the shot from Juan Gonzalez doesn't go.
It's going to take something special to beat the keeper from there in this game.
So Toth with the goalie throwing. That's a good distribution off the boards. And the referee settles it for Rovera. Velez. Good tracking back by De Lima. Hint of a handball there on Velez. Juan Gonzalez fighting with Rovera. Rovera wins the battle. Rovera puts it across goal. And once again, Tovar's on the line to clear it off. Tovar looking pretty solid as a defender tonight.
I've been very impressed with him. His responsibility, picking up the backside. We've talked about that being a weakness of this team. They've cleaned it up a little bit. And a guy who normally is operating on the opposite side of the field, has a different perspective, knows that that's an option for the opposing team, and gets back there and cleans things up.
Tovar isn't necessarily the fastest guy on the field, but he knows where to be. He's always in the right position.
And a lot of times being a smart player can make up for not having the same physical tools that maybe the other players do.
Well, speaking of Tovar, he's going to take this kick in. Just over 10.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Still 3-3. Oh, and Toth thought he should have had that easily. Instead has to punch it over.
That might be his first error of the game.
So it'll be a quarter kick for the Bolts. De Lima stands over the ball. De Lima has Tovar, and now Tovar's going to call a timeout. So we're going to have a timeout with 10.5 minutes left. Neither team has scored in the second quarter. We're still tied at 3 here at the Anaheim Convention Center Arena. And while both these teams look to draw up the perfect play, we're going to draw up the perfect break in the booth.
Once in a decade, a television show comes along with great performances, brilliant writing, and exceptional production values. But until then, you can watch AFV. And now you can watch it 5 times a week. Join Tom Bergeron for all the fun and surprises on America's funniest home video.
Weeknights at 9 on KDOC Los Angeles.
Eddie has a problem with his marriage.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
And his name is Kenny.
What's up, player?
He's immature.
Like a little kid. Hard partying, sexually active little kid.
He's obnoxious. And he's here to stay.
Yeah, why don't you join us on the vacation and you can share a room with our daughter and her boyfriend?
Fantastic. And since I do not have a bag, I will also be sharing a toothbrush and a pair of pants.
Till death.
Weeknights at 10 and 10:30 on KDOC Los Angeles.
Welcome back here on KDOC Sports. The Bolts and the Sockers tied at 3. 10.5 minutes left in the first half. And the Bolts looking to draw first blood in this second quarter. Paul Wright stands over the corner kick. Plays it up top for Gaitan. Almost picked out the far post. Tovar smacks it back in, and Toth did well to hold the rebound with De Lima bearing down on him.
What a powerful strike from Gaitan. Unfortunate that didn't result in something better for the Bolts.
San Diego looking with the long shot. That rebound went behind Farber. And a lot of times, Jeff, these guys are going to shoot the ball. They're not necessarily looking to put it on target, but off the wall for somebody making a run. And that's what Tovar might do here, but he didn't get his angle right. Had he played that off the corner board, it would have bounced back in the center for De Lima. And Molina has to come out and make a quick play. Farber alone on the back post, smart ball across, and another headed goal for the Sockers. And it's Craig Giles. Who else? They retake the lead, 4-3.
That was very, very well executed counterattack. 3 touches, half the length of the field, boom, boom, boom. And before the Bolts turn around, ball's in the back of their net.
It takes just one error for the San Diego Sockers to punish you. And that wasn't even a big error. Tovar just didn't get his angle right trying to play the ball off the board. And all of a sudden, San Diego comes flying the other way down the field.
And we were just singing his praises, but as a defender, you have to be responsible in the offensive third of the field. You have to know that if you lose the ball, your team is on a counterattack, numbers down.
Arturado over to Sutton. Sutton making just his 3rd appearance this season for the Sockers, still looking for his first goal. But he's got defending to do here. Here comes Sanchez. Sanchez trying to look for the far post. Ooh, the rebound fell finally for Gonzalez, but he couldn't get his feet right. And Paul Wright thought he should have gone to that ball, but it works out in the end. Now Wright has Felipe Gonzalez posting up. Wright tried to go into the corner himself, and it's stolen away by Zé Roberto. Well, this is a San Diego team that does not concede many goals. In their 9-3 win last week over Phoenix, they held the Monsoon scoreless for 3 quarters before finally conceding those 3 goals in the last period. Sanchez able to battle his way out. Nice little layoff from Gonzalez. Oh, no foul on Medina, and Gaitan's going to get whistled for the foul. San Diego want the blue card. Well, Medina did have his arms up, but Gaitan came flying into him once again with another heavy challenge.
The next few minutes are going to be important for the Bolts. If you let even one maybe goal more in, then the snowball effect starts to take effect. But can you answer the call? If the Bolts gets the next goal in this game, we're on level terms yet again, and you're looking at a completely different game.
Craig Giles goes for goal. Good reaction save from Molina. Space here for Medina. Oh, what a toe poke. 5-3 Sockers.
Medina shows some class. Yes, it might have been a toe poke, but it went straight to the upper corner and roofed that shot into the net.
Well, we talked about Arturado from that same position. Maybe he should have gone for power there. And even though they tell you in youth soccer and outdoor soccer, never kick the ball with your toe, it's not a bad shot in indoor soccer. There's a real surprise factor, but he placed that one perfectly.
It looked like he struck it with his laces with the amount of power that he got off it, and being that close to goal, if you can slow down the goalkeeper's reaction time in any situation, that's going to work to your advantage. That's what happened there, and the Sockers now lead 5-3.
Well, you can't blame Jesus Molina for that one. And now we'll see how the Bolts respond. They've given up 2 goals in quick succession. Solic flicks it on for Casillas. Tovar being watched by Palmerin. Palmerin seeing his first minutes of the game for the Sockers. Tovar Casillas. He goes for goal, and it's saved off the line this time by the Sockers. And it goes off of Osvaldo Gonzalez last, will be a kick in for San Diego.
That was very, very good build-up from the Bolts, finding the seams, finding the splits in between the defense, working the ball with quick touches, and it results in a very good scoring opportunity.
Well, Childs lays the ball down nicely, and Molina did well to come down and cut out the angle for Eddie Velez, and it's a 2-on-1 going the other way. Solich, oh, not a bad ball. Needed to curl it a little bit further away from the keeper for De Lima making that run.
It was a good idea. There's not a lot of space to work with in this field.
Tovar. De Lima once again. Can't get by Velez. Space on the far side for Tirado. Looks to tee one up. Ooh, smart ball in. That's a brilliant goal by the Sockers. Tick, tack, toe, Jeff Friedman.
That's how it's supposed to be done. And again, we've talked about the backside of the defense being the weak area for this Bolts team. Everyone turns their head and suddenly it's 2-on-none on the back post, and it's just a quick flick and a quick touch. And I think that might have been the most important goal of the game so far. 3-goal differential now. You know, the Bolts have been matching the Sockers stride for stride through the first quarter and the first half of this quarter. Suddenly they're down by 3.
Hi, I'm Holly Hanula, and it looks like it's going to be another beautiful day.
Since when do I bring you women?
A year and a half I've been trying to hail this cab.
I see what you're doing.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
Well, the MLS Cup is being paraded around on the floor of the Anaheim Convention Center Arena. On the field, Rovera has the ball in a bit of space. Paul Wright and Miguel Sanchez close him down, and Rovera does well to keep possession for the Sockers. The Sockers not only have scored 3 quick-fire goals, but they've had the lion's share of possession in this second quarter. Medina plays it to the far side. Wants it back, Medina. Oh, and Velez wanted Medina to leave that one off. Medina still with it. Tried to catch Molina napping, but couldn't get the corner. Oh, nifty from Tovar, but he's dispossessed. And 2 players going at it, and this time Tovar's going to be whistled for the push into the boards.
Very physical. All 3 players in that battle.
Sutton. 38-year-old will get it back. Nice little ball flicked over the feet of De Lima. Well, that was almost a certain push, but Rovera held his ground. Rovera trying to pick out Childs. Gaitan. De Lima and Gaitan not on the same page.
Once again, San Diego with a lot of numbers by the ball defensively. It's very good team defense.
Tovar uses his body well to win that ball in the corner, and he wins the foul as well.
That's what we were talking about earlier when maybe you don't have the same kind of speed as everybody else. You have to be smart. That was a very smart use of his body to shield off a defender and win a free kick.
Molina looking for Gaitan, but it goes off of Zé Roberto, or Miguel Arturado, beg your pardon. So kicking for the Bolts in midfield.
If the Bolts can come back and get 1, maybe 2, and close the gap a little bit before halftime, they'll be pretty happy with where they're at going into the break. So these next 5 minutes and 44 seconds are going to be pretty important for the way that the team morale and the team momentum is going into the break.
Absolutely. We saw how quickly San Diego scored those 3 goals. No reason the Bolts can't do the same. Paul Wright trying to flick it forward for Gaitan. And a blue card comes out. Or no, it's going to be a call on Toth. So it's going to be a free kick for the Bolts. thought I saw the ref put his hand in the air. Now he's going to come over and confer with the officials. And yes, it was a blue card. I believe it's going to be for Toth coming out and using his hands outside of the arc.
It was right in that gray area, right where the plane of the arc area extends upward, and was he inside or outside? And it's a subjective decision for the referee.
So San Diego on the power play, but I don't think anybody's come over from San Diego to serve that penalty. And now the officials in the penalty box saying, hey, somebody's got to come fill this empty spot. There's a big sign over the San Diego penalty box right now that reads vacancy.
And it's lit up with an arrow pointing down.
So Craig Childs will come and serve this 2-minute penalty. The reason that forwards are your top scorer will come over is there's really no need for offense. So Childs will get a 2-minute break. Not if Tovar has anything to say about it. Plays it across. Gaitan's shot is blocked. And De Lima couldn't get his head on the rebound. De Lima in the corner. Sanchez plays it over right, just beyond his reach. Tovar. Oh, nice little interplay between Tovar and Wright. Tovar works his way in the corner. Ball pops out to Sanchez. Off the boards. That's where you need somebody at the back post. Gaitan. Right trying to play the far post. Diving header from De Lima. Hits off that near post. Best chance of the power play so far. Paul Wright's lane's cut off. Oh! De Lima couldn't get a deflection on Tovar's shot.
The Bolts are looking for that backdoor play.
De Lima now comes in the near corner. Wright, shooting lane closed down quickly, still takes the shot, and he will get a kick in for his efforts.
Twice in a row, the back door's been open. How brave is the player on that back post, diving for the header, almost crashing into the boards himself.
Tovar, Wright, did well to bring that under control. Wright works his way all the way into the corner. Toth trying to play his angle, still going his right. And that's a huge block by Zé Roberto. De Lima. Solid defending from San Diego. Will they look for the shorthanded opportunity? That ball played in the corner when Farber was streaking down the middle.
What a block from Zé Roberto, saving his team a goal, and that's the goal that makes it 6-4 and really changes this game again.
Just 10 seconds left in the Bolts power play. Gaitan into the corner for Tovar. Played across to Sanchez. Now he put that over because he was leaning back for it, but that was a golden opportunity.
Yeah, that's what you would call a sitter. Half the net wide open for him. He's got to be on his toes, expecting that ball. When you're the man on that back post, you have to know that that's where the ball is coming.
Well, Sutton will clear it down, and that will do it. Childs getting set to come out of the box. They're having problems with the door. So the Bolts got a few extra seconds, but now Childs is on the field. So both teams back at full strength. The tigerish work by Arturado, not allowing the Bolts to go forward. Just over 3 minutes left in the first half. And Felipe Gonzalez needs to put that back in the field of play rather than trying to flick that on the goal.
The Bolts with a few chances. That block off the line by Zé Roberto, really the difference in that power play. I'm sure the Bolts would like to have that one back.
Well, Sanchez definitely kicking himself on the bench. The Bolts are 3 minutes from being shut out in the second quarter. Childs has been scoring almost at will. And Velez has been quarterbacking pretty much every play going forward when he's on the field. Casillas. Nice ball over to Solich. Oh, well, helicopter move by Solich. Gonzalez. To Gonzalez. To Molina.
How long have you been waiting to say that?
Since I found out all three Gonzalez's son. Molina plays catch with Felipe Gonzalez. To Gonzalez of the Osbaldo variety. Casillas. Juan Gonzalez. On the field with his identical twin brother, Felipe, who's on these near boards. But Gonzalez instead goes to Solich. That's a bad giveaway. Oh, Molina came sliding out. And the referee's going to let play go on because it was the keeper who made the slide.
What a play from Molina, saving his team.
Let's see if this Bolts can make it count at the other end. Well, the attack peters out into the hands of Toth. One minute and 35 seconds left in the half. Toth leaves it off for Medina. Good win by Juan Gonzalez. That was Gonzalez to Gonzalez to Gonzalez. Now played forward looking for Solich, but Toth comes out to take at the top of his arc. Long searching ball. Oh, and a huge mix-up, and it's going to be an own goal. Off of Felipe Gonzalez and into the net. Now 7-3 in favor of the Sockers with just over a minute left in this half.
That's not the way you want to go into halftime. You don't know if the crowd noise has anything to do with it, but that's the section where the majority of the fans are. The keeper, Molina, just came up so big, has to be assertive, has to call off his defender, and everyone has to know that it's his ball.
And really no San Diego Sockers players around. One was lurking, but he wasn't near enough that he was going to get to that. And you know, we saw that beautiful team goal finished off by Childs, but we've also seen Anaheim gift the Sockers some goals as well.
I'm sure there's 2 or 3 they'd like back, and you take those away, you're looking at a 4-3 game. For the most part, the Bulls have played fairly well and stayed with the Sockers. But those are the differences between coming out of here with a win and coming out of here with your 5th straight loss.
Oh, the blue card's going to be issued. De Lima was held. And it's going to be Mike Mercuriali who's going to the box for holding De Lima behind the play. It's Mercuriali, seeing action in his 4th game, will take a seat. And with 50 seconds left in the half, this is a great opportunity for the Bolts to strike and get back on song.
They need this one, plain and simple. They need a goal here in the next 50 seconds to have something positive about this quarter to go into halftime with.
Well, Paul Wright's already scored directly from one free kick, but he's going to leave it off for Enrique Tovar. De Lima's camped out just in front of Toth. Ugo Casillas is in the right corner. They're going to find him. Casillas, one touch to settle. Toth did really well to have his near post covered. Gaitan. Tovar. Right. 35 seconds left in the half. Good defending from San Diego once again on the penalty kill. De Lima, oh, put it across. Casillas sucked too far in. Tovar's shot blocked. And Tovar fighting for it, wins it off, and De Lima, the benefactor, cuts the lead to 7-4, and the Bolts strike on the power play.
It's the second effort from Tovar that made that play. That ball was loose in the middle, and he makes the effort and wins it quickly. Puts De Lima in a prime position to just slot the ball in.
Adriano De Lima with his 9th goal of the season. Puts one over his old club. Well, like you said, it was all Enrique Tovar, and De Lima was there to sweep home.
And he'll take as many of those as he can get.
19 seconds in the half, both teams back to full strength. And Farber will try to shoot that. Kind of got it mixed up under his feet, then a weak effort into Molina. Can De Lima do something here? Well, Sanchez plays it off the boards. Gaitan trying to get in, but the half will end with the ball in the hands of Toth. So a good first half. The Bolts giving up 3 goals quickly in this second quarter, but they did well to get that goal right at the end on the power play to make it 7-4, and they are still in this one going into halftime. We're going to step aside here on KDOC. We will be back with you right after this.
The city.
July in New York, the killing gets easy.
The Suspect.
I'm not gonna put an innocent kid in prison.
Here, let me help you focus. We're gonna get you.
The Cases.
First shot was the kill. The second shot was a message.
Every crime has a story.
I did it!
I killed them. I shot the two of them.
5 times a week, justice is in order.
Drop that gun!
Law and Order: Criminal Intent.
Weeknights at 7 and 8 on KDOC Los Angeles.
Hi, I'm Holly Hannula, and it looks like it's going to be another beautiful day.
Since when do I bring you women?
A year and a half I've been trying to hail this cab.
I see what you're doing.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
Once in a decade, a television show comes along with great performances, brilliant writing, and exceptional production values. But until then, you can watch AFV. And now you can watch it 5 times a week. Join Tom Bergeron for all the fun and surprises on America's Funniest Home Video.
Weeknights at 9 on KDOC Los Angeles.
Welcome back here on KDOC. At halftime, the San Diego Sockers lead the Anaheim Bolts 7-4. And Jeff, the Bolts started well, scoring the first goal. The teams then traded blows, but as you alluded to right before we went to break, that it was that 5-minute stretch that killed the Bolts.
5 minutes in the second quarter, you let off the gas just a little bit. Boom, San Diego's got 3 goals. The Bolts did a good job to get one back before the break. Now they have to build on that momentum positively as we move forward in this game.
11 goals in this first half, but the pick of the bunch had to be the tap-in by Childs after the combination from Arturado and Farber.
What a quick 1-2-3, bang, bang, bang. That's how you're supposed to draw it up. A cheeky little flick, and all of a sudden the ball's in the back of the net.
Well, plenty of action on the field, but when you're the Anaheim Bolts, there's plenty of action off it as well. Coming back, we're going to take a behind-the-scenes look at the Anaheim Bolts dance team.
Five days a week, we've got Jerry.
But I don't want to be a pirate!
George.
I'm the opposite of every guy you've ever met.
Elaine. Kramer.
I'm out there, Jerry, and I'm loving every minute.
And all the classic moments.
No soup of you! You're an anti-dentite. I was in the pool!
Weeknights at 6 and 6:30 on KDOC Los Angeles.
We're doing the calendar today just to really promote the Anaheim Bolts, and it's very exciting to kind of give something back to our fans.
For me, to be a Bolts dance team member, it is amazing. It's a great experience, and I love dance. It's my passion, and I really enjoy being together as a team with all the girls.
We're starting the photo shoot, and I think we're most excited just because this is really our first team bonding experience and our first photo shoot together, so it's been really nice just to kind of see how everyone handles themselves and gets really excited for, you know, getting on the rocks and getting their makeup and hair done.
What I'm looking forward to the most is definitely just hanging out with everyone and get to bond. We've had rehearsals every week, but we've never had a chance to just really hang out as a team.
We were able to see everyone's photograph. We were really supportive. Everyone was cheering each other on and telling each other how great they looked, and it was a lot of fun. Every girl looks beautiful and amazing just the way they are.
Definitely no competition between the girls. We're all one united front, and it's so great just to kind of get this bonding experience all together.
At the end of the day, I would say the best thing was probably actually taking the photos. It was really fun. Our photographer was really great to work with. He really was just relaxed and calm and let us all have a great time. I wouldn't leave out getting ready. All the girly stuff was really fun. And I probably most look forward to eating, so we'll see.
My favorite part of today for shooting the calendar was probably the group shot. We all got to get together and really bond and form a great team.
My favorite part was just on the sidelines, getting to hang out with people and our teammates. Taking photos was fun, but just dancing on the side of the pool, just hanging out.
I think the photo shoot went really well. I think we have some really great pictures. We have 15 amazing girls, so we're definitely gonna have some great shots.
This year and encompassing this season, I'm looking forward to really being with the fans, reaching out and seeing what our fans want and helping them really enjoy themselves at our games and at all the community outreach events that we'll be at, and really just show Anaheim that we're here and to have a great time.
Hi, I'm Holly Hanula, and it looks like it's going to be another beautiful day.
Since when do I bring you women?
A year and a half I've been trying to hail this cat.
I see what you're doing.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
Well, the San Diego Sockers getting ready to kick off this third quarter. 30 more minutes here in Anaheim, and it's a big 30 minutes for the Bolts if they want to salvage their season.
They have to build on the momentum that they just created going into the half. The next goal is big. If they can get the next one, they're back in it.
All right, now they have some defending to do as Farber streaking down the far side, trying to find Childs. Good intervention by Gaitan. Weaving his way through midfield. Nice ball sent across by De Lima for Sanchez. Gaitan once again. Heavily pressured by Zé Roberto. This is De Lima. Well, this time Gaitan making sure that he doesn't get whistled for the foul, and Farber kind of standing over that ball. Gaitan wanted a dangerous play. Oh, De Lima somehow gets out of that double team. Still has work to do. Really no support for De Lima. And De Lima still going, and Paul Wright almost had a chance. Good job by Toth to smother that ball.
Well up against the boards there, holding off 2-3 guys much bigger than him.
Well, Tovar read the play one step ahead. De Lima out. De Lima looked to have gotten clotheslined. No call, says the referee. Childs. Sanchez defends him. Little extracurriculars between those two. Childs. That would have been a sweet strike off the volley.
What an ambitious strike, but an unnecessary giveaway there by the Bolts in the back, but how advantageous was that strike?
Molina with the goalie restart. Solic being hassled by Sutton. Sanchez. Gonzalez leaves it off for Solic. This is Sanchez. 23-year-old former Cruz Azul player gives it off to Tovar. Casillas. And this is Felipe Gonzalez. Had that own goal to make it 7 for San Diego in the second quarter. And Tovar trying to flick that one on, but it goes out of bounds. So it's going to be a kick-in for San Diego. Another chance goes begging for the Bolts.
The Bolts are getting bogged down a little bit in the midfield. You think they might want to try dumping some balls in off the glass, even if they're not on frame, maybe to just see where the ball bounces. You know, maybe you get lucky one of those times and the ball gets right on a foot, right in front of the goal.
Well, Solic chasing, beats out Toth. Toth bowls him over, and he's going to get whistled for the foul. And Casillas wanted to take it quickly, but has to bring it back to the spot of the foul. And Solic calling for calm. Gonzalez, Solic, two of them play catch. And once again, there's that high pressure from the forwards, forcing the Bolts to go all the way back. Wonderly and Medina chasing. Ooh, Felipe Gonzalez got pushed off. Referee waves play on. And Sutton gets it away from Casillas. Atorado, the Hawaiian at walking pace. And Toth free to play that ball in the corner. Medina smartly goes back to his keeper. Fresh bodies onto the field for both teams. Oh, Solic almost nicked it away there. Solic and DeLima applying good pressure. And this time Solic gets calls for the dangerous play. And that's going to be the 6th foul on the Bolts. So it'll be a blue card, and San Diego's going to go on the power play.
We talked about this earlier in the game. It's a situation where you have to know what's going on in the game, and you have to know that you got to stay on your feet, and if you're on the ground, don't challenge for the ball.
Well, it seemed there could have been a dangerous play against the Sockers about a minute or two ago. It's not always going to be called, and this time it goes against the Bolts, and somebody's going to have to come and sit in the box. And when you're chasing the game down by 3 goals, as the Bolts are, every minute is precious, and there's 2 more minutes off the clock, unless they can score their 3rd shorthanded goal of the season.
Absolutely. This is a big penalty kill for this team. Stay in your lane, stay in the angles, cut down the gaps, and clear the ball and get breaks and changes when necessary.
So Velez plays it off for Childs. This is Cheeky Luna. 32-year-old gives it off to Velez. Childs, once again, tried to pick out the corner. Molina was wise to it all the way. Cheeky Luna. Good crossfield pass for Alvarado. Looking for Luna in the corner, but he didn't continue his run. And Paul Wright will push it forward to Solic. Solic going 1-on-3. Still going Solic, takes the shot. And if it wasn't a penalty kill, that would have been a good ball because somebody would have been in the center, but this time everybody else is back.
Solic immediately goes to the bench and they get a fresh player on.
Oh, DeLima with a good steal. Sidesteps Childs. Paul Wright making a run down the near side. Good recovery from San Diego. And now an opportunity for Farber, and he slots it home. I think they got a little too cocky on the penalty kill.
A little too pressed high. If you send 2, you have to get it deep. You have to get it deep. That's just how it is. Otherwise, you leave your defenders and your goalie out to dry. Nothing Molina could have done about that one.
Well, the Sockers double their lead. Just under 11 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. We have our first goal of this period. It is now San Diego 8 and Anaheim 4. And I was just going to ask you before that happened, when Solic took that shot, if you're Bernie Lilival, would you like to see him just pull that ball back and keep possession?
You know, you can't fault a player for trying to score a goal when you're down, but you have to be smart about it as well. If you hold the ball for 10 seconds in there and then make that change, does the same events play out? It's something you never know.
Well, Felipe Gonzalez looking for the return ball from Tovar. Took a weird hop over him off the glass. Wonderly fighting. Wonderly muscles his way past 2 defenders, but can't get by Molina. Tovar pushed up for Wright. Lovely little dummy. But Felipe Gonzalez is late in arriving in the corner, and he'll get whistled for the foul.
Sure didn't see like there was much in that.
Oh, it just looked like, both guys fighting evenly for the ball. Another push off there, but the ref's really letting things go in this 3rd period. Gonzalez trying to get there once again, but tough this out. Ooh, poor ball given away right to Solic, but Cheeky Luna able to stab it further forward. Gonzalez, Solic, and this time Felipe Gonzalez goes to ground, and it's going to be the 6th foul on San Diego. So now it's the Bolts' turn to see if they can strike from the man advantage.
And their power play has lacked a little bit so far. This is the opportunity they're looking for. Move the ball around. The last power play they had, they did a good job of finding the option on the back post. If they can capitalize on that maybe this time around, momentum starts to swing.
I'll see if they can do it directly from the set piece. Hugo Casillas standing over the ball. He's going to leave it off for Paul Wright. Casillas is going to go in the corner. Wright's going to shoot it. Oh, and DeLima falling over Toth, who did well to hold on to that.
Very well.
And the outlet looking for Farber. Paul Wright will go back to Molina. Right. High pressure on the penalty kill by the Sockers, and it's paying off for him. Scotty Martin gets the ball. Rivera working on the far side. Stripped away by Wright. Still going is Wright. They're on the power play. And only 2 Bolts in that offensive end. Now 2 more arrive. DeLima's going to quarterback this power play. Tovar back to DeLima. The Brazilian dribbling over toward Wright. Wright not making the run. DeLima gets it to him, flick to the back post. Tovar! So close with the Bolts. Oh, what dribbling from Rivera. That would have been a sensational individual effort. Gaitan trying to take advantage. Tovar jumping into the attack. Casillas. DeLima in the corner. And DeLima wanted to go at it alone, and Solic crying for the ball at the top of the box, and I think he has a good argument there that that ball should have been laid off to him.
End-to-end action on the power play. The angle was not right there for DeLima, but he has been one of the more exciting, one of the more offensive players in this game. Just looking for another, any one little hairline slip to be able to put the ball in.
45 seconds left on the power play. DeLima trying to get at the back post. That's a tame header into the arms of Toth. And the breakaway for Farber. Farber one-on-one. Good save by Molina. Can he get there before Farber? Well, Farber got there first, but couldn't do a better job with his rebound. Once again, Molina coming up huge for the Bolts.
And so far on this penalty kill for the Sockers, they've had maybe more of the better chances than the Bolts have. The Bolts need to get a little bit more sense of urgency here. You're down a few goals. You got to go get a few back right now.
30 seconds left in the power play. Gaitan to Tovar. Sprayed out to the far side for Casillas. Good skip pass to Solic. Gaitan wants to shoot. Not the best idea, but it might work out here for Casillas. Good defending from Arturado, and Farber will clear. Final 10 seconds of this power play for the Bolts. Gaitan to shoot. Oh, not a bad idea, but couldn't keep his effort down. Certainly had the angle, but didn't lean over the ball in that shot.
Got good wood on it, though. Struck well, struck with pace, just rose on him a little bit into the upper deck of the stadium.
Toth just lofting the ball in the air to kill off this power play. And Childs is back on the field. Tovar. Solic. Really no options going forward for the Bolts. Casillas tried to play it off the boards, instead plays it over. Possession needlessly given right back to the Sockers.
It's that high pressure from San Diego, again, causing unnecessary turnovers in the middle portion of the field. They have been going all night at that rate.
Played back looking for Luna. That's a smart header over to Sutton. And the Sockers, with the 8-4 advantage, content to keep possession. Sutton into the corner for Childs. Good work by Childs to get himself out of the corner.
San Diego happy to just bide their time right now and keep possession.
Velez off the boards looking for someone in the center, but only Tovar was there. Oh, off the post. Was that a driver or a 9-iron?
Whatever it was hit low, it was hit straight, and the Bolts are lucky it was on the outside of the post instead of the inside.
Sweetly struck, and once again Molina froze into his line, but the post comes to his rescue. And the Bolts have to apply higher pressure. San Diego content to let this clock run. 6 minutes left in the third period. Oh, and that's a good cut inside. And another tremendous goal by the San Diego Sockers, who take a 9-4 lead.
And you can start to see the heads hang a little bit on the blue jerseys. San Diego starting to score some classy goals now because they have a little bit of time and a little bit of space. And we've already talked about tonight what they can do with just an ounce of both of those.
Oh, Eric Wonderly, brilliant run into the channel, and he finishes with a plum. And with 6 minutes and 7 seconds left in the third quarter, it's 9-4 in favor of the Sockers. We're going to take a break here on KDOC Sports.
Cash Cab.
Whoa, a year and a half I've been trying to hail this cab.
I'm in the cash
this can. You might not know all the answers.
Crayola introduced a shade of orange named after what kid-friendly pasta dish?
SpaghettiOs.
Oh no, it's macaroni and cheese.
But there's no question.
It's a fun car, but an evil car.
This ride rules.
You just won $2,400. You're the biggest winners ever. You just won $4,100.
Cash Cab.
Weekdays at 4 and 4:30 on KDOC Los Angeles.
Eddie has a problem with his marriage.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
And his name is Kenny.
What's up, player?
He's immature.
I'm like a little kid. Hard partying, sexually active little kid.
He's obnoxious. And he's here to stay.
Yeah, why don't you join us on a vacation and you can share a room with our daughter and her boyfriend?
Fantastic. And since I do not have a bag, I will also be sharing a toothbrush and a pair of pants.
Till death.
Weeknights at 10 and 10:30 on KDOC Los Angeles.
Well, San Diego showing their class as they lead 9-4 over the Anaheim Bolts. And for the Bolts, you know, they haven't really put too much of a foot wrong, and right as I say that, almost a giveaway by Sanchez, but he's able to recover. And Farber a bit too tactile for the referee's liking. But San Diego's just been pure class tonight.
Yeah, they really have. They've done well at sustaining the pace that they've played at the whole. They've played an up-tempo game, high pressure, and the Bolts started that way, but they haven't been able to hold that pace up.
Well, San Diego player is still down. It's Miguel Arturado, and now the whistle goes. And we'll see which way the ball is going to be given to. Might be a drop ball as well, as they wanted to check on Arturado. And Wright is going to sportingly give it back to San Diego. Molina, smart to realize he was out of his arc and take that down on his chest. This is Gaitan. Gaitan hassled, able to get it back to Molina. Sanchez checks into the center. Oh, and that's a hard foul. And once again, these teams getting into it, they really don't like each other. And I don't understand what Sanchez is so upset about. He's the one who conceded that foul. Well, the referee's doing a good job this time to jump in and break up anything before it can get too heated.
That looked like a pretty tough challenge into the boards.
Well, frustration starting to boil over. And that's the second time that a San Diego Sockers player has gone down hard into the boards within the last minute. And now the referee is going to sort these out. We'll see how many penalties are actually given here.
It'll be interesting.
Sanchez is certainly going into the box.
It'll be interesting to see if it goes both ways.
I'm surprised Sanchez has escaped further castigation. He looked like he had a little bit of a headbutt there. And there it is, the red card. And did that red card go to Zé Roberto as well? So Sanchez is definitely off. The question is Zé Roberto off too? Well, Zé Roberto walking off the field, and Sanchez still pleading his case. Though to be fair, I don't think he had much of one. So Sanchez is gone. There's going to be a penalty as well put up on the board. Right now, Brian Farber's number is up, but I don't know if that's absolutely correct.
He's the one sitting in the box, and he was the other player involved in that little altercation.
Well, I was just so surprised to see Sanchez first bang that player in the boards and then go at him. Wasn't even sure who that altercation was, but Farber's sticking up for his teammates. So the Bolts do get an ejection, and Miguel Sanchez believes Zé Roberto is off as well. And Farber will sit in the box, and the Bolts penalty box is open too. So somebody's going to have to come over and serve. It looks to be John Sherman who's going to come over and serve this penalty for the Bolts. Hasn't played tonight, but he will serve this penalty. So 4-on-4 soccer for the next 2 minutes.
A lot of open field now in a 4-on-4 situation.
So ejection to Miguel Sanchez. Zay Roberto off as well for the Sockers.
Here's the thing, will a situation like that energize this team, or will this game just continue getting chippier and chippier and chippier?
Well, if history tells us anything, this game's just going to get chippier and chippier and chippier, especially as the scoreline gets larger and larger. De Lima taking on Arturado one-on-one. De Lima, weak shot as Arturado did well to stay with him step for step. Here comes the Hawaiian going the other way. Arturado looking to unload from distance. Second chance. Ooh, smart ball to the back post. Wonderly couldn't get his effort down. Had an open goal too. Looks like he even had time to take a touch and pass that one into the net.
If he had picked his head up and seen Molina was out challenging the initial shot and hadn't gotten back in time, luckily for the Bolts, that shot rose well high.
Gaitan, Tovar. Minute and 25 seconds left in the Coincidental Minors. Gaitan working in the corner, wall shielded off. Toth gets there before Gaitan. Oh, that's a great outlet ball from Toth. Eddie Velez gets on the end of it. Oh, that was an absolute thunderbolt. Slammed off the crossbar. Molina once again well beaten.
Velez didn't see that he had a runner on the far side of the field.
And once again, a very ambitious effort seeing Toth off his line, but it's not like outdoor soccer where the goalie might be 18 yards away. He's only 2 or 3 feet.
And it's interesting to see the Bolts almost concede that possession, if you will, and sit 3 guys back behind the ball and just send one when it was their ball to begin with.
Well, Zay Roberto did not get red carded. He's back on the field. The reason I was confused, and I beg your pardon, is because he was standing right in front of the referee when the red card came out. And I knew Sanchez was going to get red carded, but it looked like Zay Roberto was getting the red. He's still on the field. So only Sanchez is off. And Molina with an interesting save there.
Whatever works, as long as the ball doesn't go in.
Casillas turns in midfield and turns right into 2 white jerseys and Antonio Sutton, who gets whistled for the foul. Paul Wright wants to take it quickly and does. Felipe Gonzalez. There's no help in the corner. Now Casillas arrives, but it's too late. Toth picks up the loose ball.
When the Bolts find that player in the middle of the field with the outlet from possession from their defensive third, that player needs options. He needs somewhere to go because, as we've seen, San Diego is playing so high, and he doesn't have that right now.
Well, another collision in midfield, but this one was clean. The outlet for Wright, header on to John Sherman. Seeing his first action of the game right out of the box. The Liberian gets it back to Tovar. He wants to unload. Never know what happened when you throw it toward net, kind of like hockey. Sometimes you come up trumps.
Even if you find the corners and the ball bounces off, you never know. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more of that from the Bolts on offense.
Paul Wright gets it into Tovar. Wright continued his run, bowled over in the box, and this is going to be a blue card. So the Bolts will go on the power play. Good dicing run by Paul Wright. That's exactly what the Blues need. I was just about to say to you, Jeff, that it seemed to me that the difference between the Sockers and the Bolts is that the Sockers are making runs off the ball and the Bolts seem static. This time Paul Wright makes a run, you see what happens. And because he was taken down in the box on a breakaway, we're gonna see a penalty shot.
Absolutely, the challenge was late and came from behind. The marker didn't follow right in. And like you said, you hit the nail right on the head. Movement off the ball creates chances. A perfectly weighted pass from Tovar, and now you're looking at a penalty shot.
Well, it's going to be a penalty shootout. Very different from a penalty shot that you see in outdoor soccer. De Lima is going to have 5 seconds to do whatever he wants with the ball and try and score. Even if he misses, the play is not dead. As long as it's within the 5 seconds, he can get the rebound. It's De Lima versus Toth. De Lima tries to get around him. Toth pushes it away. And it went far away enough that De Lima couldn't get to it in time. Tremendous goalkeeping by the 22-year-old.
He went low, he immediately cut off the angle and used those big paws and wide wingspan to get down and poke that ball away. Excellent, excellent job by Toth.
Well, Chris Toth, the number 2 goalkeeper, usually the backup to Riley Swift, but he's showing tonight that San Diego have 2 goalkeepers who are capable of claiming the number 1 jersey.
I've been very impressed with him. Even though he is the backup, he's played a very solid game.
And because the Bolts did not score, the power play will continue. It starts now. And here comes Paul Wright. And it's that high pressure from the San Diego Sockers not allowing the Bolts to get their power play started.
It's interesting that they don't even let up on the penalty kill. They're high pressure, high octane, 100% from the get-go, regardless of the situation, and they're going to make you, as an offensive player, put your head down, see where the ball is, and so you can't be looking up trying to make a decision on where to play it.
Nice control, but the ball played forward to only right. Oh, Casillas beaten to the ball. 2-on-2 going the other way. And Farber, well, you expect more of a player of his caliber. That was a nice little ball played onto him from Velez, but once again, nobody picking up that run.
A wonderful overlapping run into space, too, creating the options here. They've had multiple chances on the penalty kill. You'd like to see the Bolts get a little something going here on the power play.
And here comes Tovar bringing it forward. Right. De Lima trying to pick his way through the heart of the fence, and it's a breakaway for Velez. Molina with another huge stop for the Bolts. So Molina saving what seemed to be almost a sure shorthanded goal. Casillas rolls it over to Tovar. Paul Wright. 40 seconds left on the power play. Back up top for Tovar. The Bolts haven't even had a chance to move the ball around. Finally look to be setting up into a rhythm, but they only have 30 seconds left.
You'd like to see them use their man advantage, even if it's dumping balls into the corner perhaps. Find the space on the field where you have an extra player.
And Tovar was trying to flick that ball in the corner for Hugo Casillas, but it's cleared away by Eduardo Velez. 15 seconds left on the power play, 50 seconds left in the third quarter. Oh, Rivera overruns it right, trying to take advantage. But Toth is there to claim the loose ball. And this time he rolls it to Velez. Zé Roberto is out of the box and both teams are at full strength with 30 seconds left in the third. 9-4 still in favor of the Sockers. Looking to hold the Bolts scoreless throughout this third quarter. And here comes Arturado. His touch a bit too heavy and Felipe Gonzalez overtakes. And he's dumped behind the play, and that's going to be a blue card on Arturado. So with 14 seconds left, the Bolts will go back on the power play. Another chance to perhaps get themselves back in the game.
You got to take advantage of these opportunities that the Sockers are almost gifting to you at this point. Move the ball around, get runs off the ball, and find the space on the field where you can use that numerical advantage. It's simple math. You have 5 players on, the other team only has 4. Somewhere someone's going to be open. Find it and exploit that space quickly into a goal-scoring opportunity.
And now the Bolts are going to send out the 6th attacker with Paul Wright to make it a 6-4 advantage. And it's excitement like this, fans, that reminds you that you don't want to miss your chance to get your season tickets. Be a part of history and experience Bolts Soccer. Visit boltsoccer.com for more information. But so now Paul Wright coming on the 6th attacker very, very early.
And with only 14 seconds left in the period, the Bolts are kind of going for the gusto here, hoping that they can get one back.
And we've seen Lilival do this in more than one game, sending Paul Wright out as that 6th attacker. Well, 9 seconds left, and it might work out here for the Bolts. So Sherman almost picked up his 2nd goal of the season. And now Wright's going to have to get back. Oh, it's going to go wide. So the Bolts are the ones, even though they're on the power play, who end up escaping. After 3, it's the Sockers 9 and the Bolts 4. We're going to step aside here on KDOC and be back for the final 15 minutes.
5 days a week, we've got Jerry.
But I don't want to be a pirate.
George.
I'm the opposite of every guy you've ever met.
Elaine. Kramer.
I'm out there, Jerry, and I'm loving every minute.
And all the classic moments.
Nothing from you. You're an anti-dentite. I was in a pool.
Weeknights at 6 and 6:30 on KDOC Los Angeles.
Eddie has a problem with his marriage.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
And his name is Kenny.
What's up, player?
He's immature.
I'm like a little kid. Hard partying, sexually active little kid.
He's obnoxious. And he's is here to stay.
Yeah, why don't you join us on the vacation and you can share a room with our daughter and her boyfriend?
Fantastic. And since I do not have a bag, I will also be sharing a toothbrush and a pair of pants.
Till death.
Weeknights at 10 and 10:30 on KDOC Los Angeles.
Back with you here for the final 15 minutes on KDOC Sports. Paul Wright to get this quarter underway. The Bolts on the power play for another minute and 40 seconds. De Lima, oh, he was all alone but couldn't settle his first touch. Chance of the back post for Tovar. Toth got over well.
Tovar struck it well. Struck it on frame. Toth was just there to equal the challenge.
Best chance on the last few power plays for the Bolts right there from Enrique Tovar. And Toth got across his line quickly. 5 goals, by no means an insurmountable lead in indoor soccer, but the San Diego Sockers are just on top of their game at the moment.
If you're the Bolts, you're going to have them break them down 1 goal at a time. You have to get number 5 before you can get number 9.
It'll be interesting to see how quickly in this fourth quarter Bernie Liljeval goes to that 6th attacker.
You'd have to think he's running out of options at this point, and we might see it sooner as opposed to later.
Well, this is Tovar once again. Tried the skip pass. Farber was able to get a foot in. Right. Top of the offensive end. Over to Tovar. Tovar wants to work his way in. And it's a 3-on-1, now 2-on-1 going the other way. De Roberto over to Farber. Good sprawling save by Molina. And the long rebound comes out to Gaitan. De Lima. Oh, lovely flick from Gaitan. From De Lima to Gaitan. And then De Lima wanted that ball back, and Gaitan shot weakly at Toth.
San Diego with such high fitness levels. You see 2 guys running the attack on the penalty kill, and they're back in their defensive third of the field before the offense has time to set up.
You should never get caught on a counterattack when you're the team on the power play. Well, we had Bernie Liljeval all week in our ear telling us he was going to play. He threw us a curveball, and now you're wondering if he wished he had inserted himself into the lineup tonight.
Hindsight is always 20/20, isn't it?
Liljeval just 2 points away from reaching 1,000 for his career. Certainly an incredible milestone, but he decided to wear the suit instead of the jersey this evening. Tovar's shot blocked by Eduardo Velez.
You'd like to see a shot-first mentality here on the power play. Get balls to the net. And like that exact situation, pop it on net. Maybe you get a second chance. Maybe a rebound comes up, and I sound like a broken record, saying the same thing over and over, but it still remains true.
Rivera went for goal. Quick reactions from Molina. Arturado's out of the box as the power play ends. And Tovar has to go back with it. Now Tovar tried to play it in the corner, but instead it skips up and out in midfield. And really, Tovar had no options there. Molina was his only option. No other players showing for him. And he tried to play that ball in the corner, but San Diego would have gotten there first.
The thing is, when San Diego is playing at such a high pressure, you have to work so hard just to get free for a pass at midfield, let alone a scoring opportunity. I think it's really taken its toll on Anaheim the whole night, really. And at this point, it's kind of a struggle.
Lovely turn from Medina. Almost picked out that far corner. Be a goalie restart from Molina with 12 minutes and 48 seconds left in the final period. 9-4, the Sockers lead over the Bolts. Looking for their 12th win of the season and their 26th consecutive win. The Sockers have not lost since December of 2010. Solic. Osvaldo Gonzalez. Gonzalez looking for Felipe. Gonzalez has to go back to Molina. Molina gets it off to Solic and provides the angle. Now Solic drills that ball into the corner. Too easily read by San Diego. That's good defending from Solic to win that ball back high up the field for the Bolts. And a good ball into the corner from Osvaldo Gonzalez. Went off a soccer last.
Felipe Gonzalez in a long battle now with Zay Roberto off the ball. Both guys pushing and shoving, trying to get the upper hand, get into that space. A good effort, both sides.
Casillas thought about the quick one-time shot. Instead goes back to Solich. Casillas flicked over, looking for Felipe Gonzalez. Gets there before Toth. And Toth looks like he gave him a kick to the midsection. So he'll plead his case, but it will be a free kick for the Bolts. Almost right in that corner on the far side.
Good work off the ball again by Gonzalez, getting himself into an opportunity where maybe he doesn't score, but he puts his team in a position to get one.
Well, Tommy Solich is hiding on this back post. Now he starts to come in. Paul Wright stands over this free kick, plays it back to Casillas. He shoots. Almost deflected in, but cleared away by San Diego. And Arturado saw that was going to take a high bounce, so he didn't touch it, let it go out of bounds. Very smart from the Hawaiian to win the kick-in for the Sockers. 11 and a half minutes remaining in the game, and it's been all Sockers here at the Anaheim Convention Center Arena. 9-4 over the Bolts. And the Bolts look on their way to their 5th defeat in succession.
How different we are right now from where this game started, with the Bolts taking the lead 3 times in that first quarter and really matching San Diego stride for stride. Jump ahead 2.5 quarters, and it's 9-4. The Bolts have only gotten 1 since that 3-2 lead.
Velez Childs wanted it to go at it alone. Perhaps he had better options, but it's a sigh of relief for Jesus Molina and a goalie throw-in. And the Bolts had the lead at one point in the first quarter. And in 4 of their 6 losses so far this season, they've conceded big leads. And so it's the same struggle for the Bolts, not being able to put together a full 60 minutes.
And it's so disheartening, because when you have that intent at the beginning of the game, when you set that pace of playing with the lead, just to give it up, it almost makes the loss double. I don't know what the correct word is, but hurt doubly maybe. It stings a little bit worse, because you know that you had that capability to be able to play with your opponent.
Gaitan dancing on the ball. Tovar with a nice little lay into the corner for DeLima. DeLima muscled off. Juan Gonzalez. Juan Gonzalez started this game out so hot, hit the post twice, and looked the best bet of the 3 Gonzalezes to score their first professional goal. But he's petered out a little bit, kind of like the rest of the squad. Bit of a microcosm for what we've seen in this game.
Absolutely. As one goes, they all go.
That ball skips out of bounds. And it was played from behind that defensive line, so we'll see if this ball comes all the way back up to the top. Well, instead, it's just going to go to the corner. "10 minutes left. Molina plays the long ball looking for DeLima. Looks like he could have got up on that, but instead he lets it float over his head into the hands of Toth. And Antonio Sutton stripped of the ball, cleared out, and this one will be a delay of game. So it comes back to the top of the arc, but for San Diego.
Once again, San Diego high pressing on defense ultimately leads to the turnover and a chance for the Sockers.
Childs standing over the free kick, has Cheeky Luna to his left. Childs has reached his 100th goal for his career tonight. And that play was drawn up nicely, but once again, the woodwork comes to the rescue of the Bolts.
How many times have we seen that in this game? Think about the difference. If maybe 1 or 2 shots both ways, one post for the Anaheim Bolts, 1 or 2 posts goes in, you're sitting on 6 goals. 1 or 2 posts for the Sockers goes out, you're looking at 8, maybe 7, and maybe we're at a much closer game.
Definitely a game of inches. Time out here on the floor to fix this field. Sockers fans definitely enjoying themselves here tonight. It was a very close game, tied at 3-3, but since then the Sockers have run away with it. 6-1 run in these last 3 quarters.
And I think it's the one that's almost more impressive than the 6. Yes, they've scored some very quality goals, but in a game like the arena game that we're looking at, where goals are so frequent and so plentiful, to be able to almost shut out your opponent. Only 1 goal over 2.5 quarters. That says a lot about the mentality that your team approaches the defensive aspect of the game, which is often overlooked.
And their defense starts high up with the likes of Farber and Childs. Sherman works his way out left. Gonzalez. Tovar. And in the, that should be a push on Zé Roberto. So he wasn't red carded earlier, but certainly whistled for the foul here.
And that's a carryover from that battle. Those two have been doing all 4th period off the ball. A lot of pushing and shoving. Once that ball goes, though, everyone's eyes are on you and you can't get away with the same stuff.
Tovar thought about playing it off the boards, instead trying to split the wall. Felipe Gonzalez. Nice little touch to try and get around his opposite number, but Toth read it all the way. Farber. Gonzalez can't get there. Flicked on by Zé Roberto, wearing the captain's armband tonight for the Sockers. We talked about that 6-1 run. Over the last 2 quarters, the Sockers have only given up 1 goal.
It's impressive. And what's most impressive is that they've kept up the same pace that they started this game with all the way through to the end.
This is De Lima. Toe poke right into the arms of Toth. De Lima's been working hard. He's been looking for those openings, but just hasn't found them tonight.
He's been the most dangerous player wearing a blue jersey in the offensive part of the field for sure.
Scotty Martin. Still looking for his first goal of the season, Martin. The Bolts have now allowed over 70 goals in their last 5 games.
But still, you have to say, allowing 9 is a lot better than allowing the 15, 16 that they've been doing. It's an improved effort on the defensive side of the ball.
Absolutely. That ball cleared out. We're going to have a timeout. 7 minutes and 59 seconds left to go in the game. It's been all Sockers. They lead over the Bolts 9-4. We're going to step aside here at KDOC and be back for the rest of this match.
The city.
July in New York, the killing gets easy.
The suspect.
I'm not gonna put an innocent kid in prison.
Here, let me help you focus. We're gonna get you.
The cases.
First shot was the kill. The second shot was a message.
Every crime has a story.
I did it! I killed them. I shot the 2 of them.
5 times a week, justice is in order.
Drop that gun!
Law and Order: Criminal Intent.
Weeknights at 7 and 8 on KDOC Los Angeles.
Once in a decade, a television show comes along with great performances, brilliant writing, and exceptional production values. But until then, you can watch AFV. And now you can watch it 5 times a week. Join Tom Bergeron for all the fun and surprises on America's Funniest Home Video.
Weeknights at 9 on KDOC Los Angeles.
All right, back with you here on KDOC, and we take a look at our save of the game. And Jeff, no doubt it's the save by Toth on the penalty shot out by Adriano De Lima.
Absolutely. He showed extreme athleticism, agility, and really, really good lateral movement to get low, use the big wingspan to get a paw on the ball and knock it away. Those are things that you need out of your goalie in those type of situations.
Final 7 minutes and 59 seconds left here from the Anaheim Convention Center Arena on KDOC Sports. The Sockers have a 9-4 lead over the Bolts, and they're looking for more with Anthony Medina in the corner. And this time the foul's going to go against him. Paul Wright quickly gets it to his keeper. Melita being chased by Arturado. Casillas leaves it off for De Lima. Oh, what skill from De Lima. De Lima's in, puts to the back post. I think Solich got the final touch, and the Bolts have finally scored once again. It is now 9-5, and by no means is this game over just yet.
How good was that from De Lima, sizing up 3 different defenders with nice moves, and he opens up the rest of the field for an easy tap-in goal.
Well, De Lima showing some of his old Nike Skills teams moves there. Tremendous trickery and improvisation to get by 3 defenders. And now what do we have here on the field? Believe the Bolts are screaming out for 6 men against the Sockers.
So off the kickoff, a Sockers player ran onto the bench as one of their players on the field was kind of moseying slowly over to the bench. It was almost like a trick play, and the referees, I think, are going to say that they didn't make that change quick enough.
That's an eagle eye by Bernie Lillevaugh. He quickly jumped to the front of the bench and started screaming at the referees. And so now it's San Diego making the mental error. And if the Bolts can get back to 9-6, striking here on this power play, we got a game on our hands.
If you think that you can get 2 in a row, suddenly you're feeling so much better about yourself. The last 35, 40 minutes of this game have been all San Diego. If you get 2 in a row, suddenly you forget about all of that and you're just eyes on the prize. Let's see if Anaheim can't make something out of this opportunity.
Well, the Bolts will have to deal with that high pressure from the penalty killers of San Diego. But if they can break that down and settle into their passing game, moving the ball around, maybe they can find an opening.
And not just moving the ball around the perimeter of the attack, really get the ball in deep and really challenge the San Diego players to commit defensively.
Once again, it's Childs into the box for the San Diego Sockers. 2 minutes, man advantage for the Bolts. Bernie Lillevaugh not going to that 6th attacker just yet. Molina stays on the field, but he's coming pretty high up. Paul Wright. Casillas. DeLima in the corner. DeLima looking for something special once again. Tovar with a quick toe poke. And Toth reading his angles so well. Really knows how to play that ball off the boards. That ball played into the corner for Velez. And Velez will be happy to just hold the ball. Farber screaming for it. Now he gets it. And a smart ball back by Farber to keep possession for the Sockers.
Killing precious seconds off of this power play.
And this is where the Bolts really need to pressure high and win that ball back. But instead it's going to be a kick in for the Sockers.
I mean, that was easily 20 or 30 seconds of the power play that the Sockers ate up possessing down a man.
1 minute and 18 seconds left on the penalty kill. And there's that hard shot from Arturado. Wright will feel that one tomorrow. And it's almost San Diego striking shorthanded.
It's almost as though Anaheim can't get the ball back on the power play here.
Martin. Toth under some pressure. Nice ball back to Martin. Farber looking cross-field. Neatly brought down on the chest. Oh, and the shot took a deflection, but goes well wide of Molina's goal. And so finally, a chance for the Bolts to regain possession. You could forget that it was a San Diego player in the box and not a Bolts player. 45 seconds left on the power play. Casillas, Wright. Tovar. DeLima's in the corner, but Tovar elects to go back to Wright. Wright looking for some space. Martin with the block. Far side for Felipe Gonzalez. Needs a crisper touch. And Paul Wright trying to get it to the corner. Farber took that one off the head. Now Wright gets it in the corner. Oh, DeLima trying to go for the spectacular. Cleared away, just 9 seconds left on the power play. But this will be a chance from the top of the arc.
The Bolts can't settle for passing the ball around. The shots have to come quicker. The first touch has to set up a second touch shot because your passing lane and your shooting lanes are just going to close down with such an active defense.
Well, the Bolts have come to life here late in the fourth quarter. One more goal can make this really interesting. 8 more seconds on the power play for the Bolts. Played into the corner for Gonzalez. Try to play it back across goal. But once again, it's the Sockers reacting quickest in the arc. And it's a 3-on-2 going the other way. Farber slides it past Molina once again. And it is a shorthanded goal right as Childs comes out of the box. It is now 10-5 in favor of the Sockers with 5 minutes and 26 seconds left.
And what an answer from San Diego. It's the second or third time we've seen them go tic-tac-toe, pass, 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 all one touch up the field. And it's easy. From that area with not a lot of defenders around, you open up your hips and you slide it with your instep into the corner. At any level of soccer, that's difficult for any goaltender to save.
Well, very confident and composed finish from Brian Farber.
And he's been doing so much work on the penalty kill. He almost deserves one.
Oh, definitely. So Farber gets his just rewards. And that's just a frustration shot from Solic. Really no need to do that, but instead kicks it right from the center dot. The Bolts do, however, get possession back through Osvaldo Gonzalez. And that was a nice little feint from Molina to get out of trouble, but he puts himself right back in it. Mercuriale will give it back to Toth. 5 minutes left to go. The Sockers doubling up the Bolts, 10-5. A game which started out with so much promise for the Bolts has really fizzled out here tonight. Gaitan has the ball in the corner, turns quickly. Solic flying in. Oh, it's Gaitan almost scored himself in a tremendous sliding block by Antonio Sutton. Poor ball from Gonzalez. This is Childs streaking down the heart of the defense. Or rather, Childs now on the wing. Works himself into the corner. Solic. Flicked on by Felipe Gonzalez. But Solic late in arriving. Oh, and that ball, it looked like it had stayed in bounds. Maybe there's a whistle behind the play as there's a San Diego player down.
It was good effort on that play from Solic, coming all the way from a defensive spot to put pressure on the Sockers defensively and really almost galvanize his team a little bit to say, hey, there's still 4.5 minutes left in this game. Let's go. Let's see if we can't get something going here.
And we talked about that last goal that the Bolts scored was just a brilliant individual effort by DeLima, but there never would have been a goal had Solic not made that run to the back post.
Without a doubt, and we've been harping on that back post run the whole game. It's nice to see that actually gets executed, and executed where there's results.
That ball did go out of bounds, so it's going to be a kick-in for the Anaheim Bolts. 4 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock. Sockers looking to improve to 12-0 on the season. Oh, what a layoff for John Sherman. Second one off the boards. Gonzalez couldn't keep his effort down. Well, Gonzalez did so well to slash through the middle of that arc and get on that rebound, but just couldn't find the finishing touch in the end.
And that's the first time we've seen, and maybe it wasn't by design, but a ball bank off the boards back into the penalty spot, and it leads to a great chance for Anaheim.
Mercuriale back to Toth. Scotty Martin provides an option. Oh, and that's a high kick. Tovar did lean in a little bit, but Velez got his foot well above his own shoulder.
Tovar helped it a little bit, but without a doubt, that's still a foul.
Either way, I'm still impressed with the elasticity of Eduardo Velez. Juan Gonzalez wants more room. Gonzalez just shoots, and he will get the corner kick for the Bolts. Mercuriale seeing some good minutes for the San Diego Sockers now that they're well in the lead. Sherman plays it back to the top for Gaitan. The referee wasn't happy with something. Well, the pushing going on inside the arc. So they're going to bring it back while the ref tells them to cut it out. And this time Sherman goes short. Now it reaches Gaitan, and that's just a lack of confidence there. Gaitan is a player capable of so much more.
Leaning a little too far back, not really staying body over the ball, keeping your knee on top of it. Strikes it into section 323.
Well, there are some fans chasing the ball up there. It's Toth with the goalie throw in. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. Sockers leading 10-5. Tovar off the boards for Felipe Gonzalez. Oh, that was a knife ball into the path of Gaitan, but it was poked away. Molina once again. Oh, and Felipe Gonzalez got up well, but it still bounced over his head. Gaitan chasing in the corner, and he'll win the battle. Kicking for the Bolts.
This has been a little bit better from Anaheim over the last few minutes. They're starting to, and maybe too little too late, but they're starting to finally dictate the pace that this game is being played at.
Well, we talked about the Bolts are capable of being a top team and playing against the top teams. They just need to do it for a full 4 quarters. Swung over to Juan Gonzalez. He's being watched by Arturado. Into the quarter for Felipe Gonzalez. The Twins sharing the ball nicely. Once again, Felipe Gonzalez. Oh, smart header looking for Gaetan, but it's cleared out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick for the Bolts. But Juan Gonzalez did so well to put that ball back across goal. He might get his reward here, just over his head. Back to Felipe Gonzalez. Juan Gonzalez in the corner. And that ball will go over and out.
Just unlucky off the boards with a little bit of a high bounce.
A good pressure from the brothers Gonzalez. 22-year-old identical twins doing very well in their first professional match. They, along with Osvaldo Gonzalez, all coach for Enrique Tovar's club, Top Notch Soccer in San Jose. Also won many national futsal titles at the youth level. Solich, smart little lift to get out of his own defensive end. And De Lima muscled off by Medina.
Solich yelling at his team, step up and pressure up high.
Well, if everybody played like Solich, we'd have an Anaheim Bolts team going at 100 miles per hour all the time. The word from day one about Solich, and I saw him play outdoors in the USL Pro with the LA Blues, is live wire. He will never stop running at full speed.
And that's not a bad thing.
Not at all, because he's also applied a delicate touch, as we saw at that back post. He came in at the beginning of the season, just firing balls over from close distances, but now he's found a way to stroke it into the back of the net. Has really added that to his game. Will not only serve him well indoors, but outdoors too.
It's interesting how the nuances carry over from one game to the other, because really, they're separate sports. They're separate games.
This is like a hybrid between hockey and soccer, really.
Absolutely.
It's San Diego looking to put the icing on the cake. Just as content to keep the ball as well and let the clock run out. 1 minute and 25 seconds left, and a flying save from Molina to push that away. You have to give the Bolts credit. They've never stopped going from the forward all the way to the goalie. Just been outclassed by a better team tonight in San Diego. That ball over the head of Antonio Sutton. And Aleman will give it to Molina. 1 minute left in the contest. The Sockers sitting pretty with a 10-5 lead over the Bolts as Casillas is bundled over in the corner. Alemant. Solich, really nowhere to go with it. He's stripped of the ball but wins it back. Well, Sutton got up well, but it might fall here for De Lima. De Lima goes down in the box. No foul, says the referee. Play continues the other way through Wonderly. Wonderly trying to get it to the back post. Great tackle by Solich. And then cleared out by Tomislav Solich. So he's going to run to the bench. It's going to be a corner kick for the San Diego Sockers.
You love seeing a guy leaving it all on the field, sliding with 30 seconds left. Your team's down 5, but he's still out there hustling, making the play and saving a potential goal-scoring opportunity.
So the Bolts will fall to 3-7 on the season, their 5th consecutive loss. As San Diego, so smart, going back to their keeper. 25 seconds left, just letting time run out. Oh, and Tovar might get one over Toth here. Good job by Toth to get back. Goalkeepers never want to concede those kinds of goals, and Toth said no way.
That would have been something, though.
9 seconds left, 8 seconds. Into the corner, Scotty Martin. Molina comes out. Martin's going to stop there. That's how this game will end. That will do it for us here on KDOC Sports. The Sockers win over the Bolts 10-5. From our partner, Jeff Friedman, my name is Mark Serber. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful evening.